Wow. I had this video on my For You page and I was taken back. I was taken back. And I just want to say a few things. And I want to start with something I read on on Instagram some days back. And it said, the way you speak to your children becomes their inner voice. And I think that really goes without further explanation, without further anything else. That's really just what it is. Because especially this statement, or in Germany, we say something very common that is like, as long as you put your feet under my table, you do as I tell you. There are so many of these toxic parenting traits that keep on circling around, and I'm glad that at least in the bubble I am in TikTok, people are breaking generational curses, going to therapy, unlearning all this toxic BS that was shoved down our throats. Because tell me why the fuck I spent literally all my childhood and young adulthood thinking I am less than an adult just because they are older than me. Because things like this were common phrases in our house. You are a child, you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't get to debate me because I'm older than you, I know better than you. Now I'm a mother, and there is nothing I enjoy more, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. And of course, disclaimer, okay? This sometimes it's fucking annoying because if they do it once, they do it at every given circumstances, okay? Than my children debating me in a sense of they are the youngest, they are 5 and 7. And as children grow now, my son that is 14, he's like, we don't debate like that anymore. He's almost, he's a young adult. He's growing into a young man. The conversations are different, the dynamics are different. But those two last ones is like a mirror. It's like a mirror, and that mirror is so painful sometimes because I'm like, they can debate me, and in so many cases, I was like, damn, you're actually right, you know? For example, sometimes they have situations, maybe when they come from school, they need to unwind first, they calm down, they need to cuddle up sometimes, eat something, process the day. I would never, they get in the door, the first thing, a hug, how was your day, carry them up, welcome them home. And then whatever they want to do is what happens. If they want to draw, they will draw. If they want to watch TV, they watch TV. If they want to play on their Switch or anything else, they do it. Because I know that feeling, you're coming home and you're stressed already because you don't know what's going to happen, if thunder is going to break over your head, if maybe nobody's home. That's the jackpot. If there's even food in the house, all this shit around it. I could talk about this like till tomorrow morning and I'll still not be done, but let me just make it quick and short. Then there was a time like my son wanted to go and see his friend, but his room was a mess. And I was like, before you go to your friend, can you clean up your room? And I ask open questions because I do give them the chance and the opportunity to say no, because they are human beings by themselves on their own. They have their own, their own demands, their own needs, their own wishes, their own choices. And if I tell them what to do, of course, there are situations I tell them what to do, and there are things that are non-debatable. Okay, it is what it is. You have to brush your teeth in the morning. Don't. And my children are so sneaky now at this age. They're like, but I don't want to. It's my boundary. You have to respect my boundaries. And that's when I'm caught in a mess because, of course, they're right. I have to respect their boundaries. But then it's up to me to regulate that emotion and be like, okay, I respect your boundary, but you still have to brush your teeth. You have to be healthy, brushing your teeth, caries and everything, blah, blah, blah. And in 10 out of 10 cases, that works earlier or later. So he was playing on his Switch and he was like, then the friend came and picked him up. So I was like, can you tidy up your room? And he was like, no, I want to go to my friend. I was like, okay, but your room is a mess. He was like, okay, I can still tidy it up later when I come back. It's not as if I'm going to bed immediately. I was like, you know what, you're right. At the end of the day, I'm not doing anything in their room. How the fuck is it my business if the room is not tidy or if it's tidy or if it's not tidy? It doesn't matter. It's just toys scattered all around the place. And even if he doesn't do it, it's much more of a task for a child to tidy up the room than it would be for me. So my kids have the right to debate me in 9 out of 10 cases. And they do that. And they don't have no filter. They have no filter. And in many cases, they have no sense for my boundaries. Okay. I'm just starting to implement that now because sometimes I need I'm on the phone. Can you just give me a minute? Because these kids come to me no matter what I do. I don't know. I could be falling from the balcony and they'd be like, Mom, I'm sorry. I know you're busy, but could you get me a yogurt? Could you get me so they don't care. They don't care. And if I tell them I'm busy right now, they'll be pulling stunts at me like, but it's your job to make us happy. You always tell us it's your job to make us happy. I need a yogurt for me to be happy. And that's cute because their thought process, it shows me that one, they understand what I'm telling them. And on the other hand, they try and, live by that on a day-to-day basis. It has gotten to a place where I don't need to tell them to apologize anymore. They know when they have done something wrong. In most cases, they come and be like, I'm sorry. Sometimes it takes a little bit of, evaluating the situation, but you get the point. I always tell my children, nobody has the right over you more than you. Not when it comes to verbal communication, when it comes to your own choices, when it comes to your boundaries, whatever. I don't care if somebody is 200 years old. Age does not necessarily mean that they are right, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to respect them. We talk about a common respect you have, the same for a 2-year-old, for a 20-year-old, for a 50-year-old, for a 100-year-old. They all deserve the same respect. That's basic humanity. But what I'm never going to teach my kids is to respect an adult just for the fact that they're an adult. That doesn't make no fucking sense to me. Like, you can't sit in your basement from the moment you're born until the day you die. You never leave that house. What's there to respect? Age is simple biology. Everybody ages. You have no contribution to aging. That's, if you're lucky, you get old. If you're unlucky, you die early. That's literally luck. It has nothing to do with any achievement whatsoever. So I will never sit down and respect somebody only because they're old. I will not. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole, and I will treat you accordingly. I don't care if you're 100 years or 10 years. I simply don't care. And just for reference, if I expect my children to obey me without being able to question my decisions, my authority, or my opinions, I am teaching them to blindly obey me just because I'm their mother. And that doesn't make no sense. The same way I have to earn their respect is the same way I have to earn the way for them to see me as an idol, for them to see me as somebody they can rely on. I have to prove to them that they are safe with me, that I am knowledgeable when it comes to things they need or things they know. And if I don't have that knowledge, I need to provide ways to get the knowledge. I need to work for them to see me as somebody they can look up to. They are not born with that skill. And they shouldn't be born with that. They need to learn to look up to me by my actions. My actions will make them look up to me, not anything else. Not what comes out from here, because children don't give a fuck what you say. Children see, children do. So when you treat your children like the way this child was spoken to in the video, please, please, for the love of God, don't be surprised that once they hit 18, they are out. And once they are 30, or even earlier than that, they don't speak to you anymore. I haven't spoken to my mother since I was 19. I'm 33. She doesn't know my children. And I was talked to like this on a daily basis. And that's one of the reasons. Because just because you are a mother doesn't give you automatic respect. It doesn't give you a go-to to be an asshole and to mistreat a child only because it's young. Because that thinking that I'm the adult, I know better than you, it doesn't work. Because we can learn so much from children. My children taught me more than some adults I have encountered in my life. And the most important thing is respect. If you don't respect your children, they will never respect you. You need to practice what you preach for them to follow your footsteps. If you can't do that, don't fucking have kids. God.